people want to show the message, release the messages, show the messages. What are we in 2nd grade?
The man does not let things calm down, and instead of taking responsibility, he decides to drag everyone down with him. Let's get straight to it. This all started when Doc got caught messaging a minor. Normally, when influencers get exposed for this kind of thing, they disappear. They go silent, lay low, and wait for the internet to move on. But not Doc. He's taken a different route, doubling down, playing the victim, and lashing out at anyone who dares to call him out. Doc's entire approach has been nothing short of chaotic. Instead of offering a sincere apology and showing real growth, he's chosen the path of deflection and delusion. He wants people to believe he's the real victim here, that his former friends betrayed him, and that everyone calling him out is just out to get him. But let's break it down. When you message a minor inappropriately, there is no excuse. There's no gray area. There's no misunderstanding. You either did it or you didn't. And in this case, Doc admitted it. Not in a way that shows remorse, but in a way that makes it seem like everyone else is overreacting. That's the real issue here. His lack of awareness and complete inability to take responsibility. What's worse is that instead of accepting the fallout and moving on, he's actively making it worse for himself. He keeps bringing it up, keeps attacking his former friends, and keeps pushing the narrative that he's been wronged. It's a desperate attempt to control the conversation, but it's not working.
I think Nickmercs is the biggest fucking pussy in the world. Lupo, obviously, he's a big ass, he's a fake. Let's go ahead and say it. Didn't talk about it before, but I'm in the mood now to talk about it. I think these fucking people are the phoniest people in the industry, man. You know what I mean, champs? I won't talk about it anymore, but I just had to say that. I did, and I know you guys know, but God, I had to say it. Biggest phonies. I can call out all these people. I don't want to, though, man. You know what I mean, champs? These people have met, like those two people met Mrs. Assassin and Baby Assassin, Little Assassin, right? They met him multiple times. So for Nick to go on some low budget podcast and talk about us the way he did, like, who does that?
Now let's talk about Nick MKS. He's known Doc for years. They've played together, streamed together, built content together. If anyone had a reason to hold back, it was Nick. But even he couldn't ignore the facts. And what did he do? He kept it real. He called it like it is. Doc put himself in this position. No one forced him to make those choices. No one told him to text a minor. That was all him. Nick's response wasn't emotional, it wasn't exaggerated, it was logical, precise, and honest. He said what needed to be said. When you make choices like that, you have to face the consequences. That's part of being an adult, and more importantly, a decent human being. But instead of taking this as a reality check, Doc went on a tirade, calling people fake, accusing them of gaslighting and trying to rewrite history. And this isn't the first time. Time and time again, we've seen Doc shift the blame instead of looking in the mirror. One of the most ridiculous parts of Doc's rant is his claim that his former friends are fake. Let's break that down for a second.
Like, pause the music. Who does that? Phony pussy. And then Lupo screaming at the top of his lungs. He's got 400 viewers now. No one gives a, like, he's always copied us. Transitions, intros, all that stuff. Disrespecting me, disrespecting Mrs. Assassin, Little Assassin. Come on, man. That's how you get knocked the fuck out. This guy thinks he's this Nickmercs dude. I don't even know what happened to him. I don't know if he's still around. He thinks he's like tough guy putting his who can I knock out in a fight list together. Like, who does, first off, who does that shit, man? Second off, this guy wouldn't even come close. No way. Anyways, I just don't know who, like, the type of mentality to go on and talk about someone like that. Like, you just gotta be, you're lost. You don't do that. Time out. No.
Being a real friend doesn't mean defending someone who's done something indefensible. Being a real friend means holding people accountable, even when it's uncomfortable. Doc is out here acting like everyone should have had his back regardless of what he did. But here's the thing. There's a line. And when you cross it, you lose people. Actions have consequences, and Doc is learning that the hard way. Friendship isn't about blind loyalty. It's about trust and integrity. If your friends can't trust you, if your actions go against their values, then don't be surprised when they walk away. That's not being fake. That's having standards.
And I'm good, right? That's how I deal with shit, right? Like, hey, as long as you learn from it, you apologize, boom, you move on.
We're all fake and phony because we cut ties with you after you did some crazy shit. Put all your boys in a tough spot. You want to get real about it? Get real about it. You put everybody around you in a tough-ass spot because you're a dog. Because you're a dog, bro. And I've known plenty of dogs, man. But when you go below that 18-year-old bullshit, you a different kind of dog now. Now you're a weirdo. And you can't You have no self-awareness. You can't reflect. You can't hold yourself accountable. You can't be a man. Being a man is about holding yourself accountable with things you do. It's a really important part about growing up and being a man. You're a father, you're a husband. You don't get to go around and blame everybody else for the shit that you did. That's not what you do. That's not what you do.
This entire situation boils down to one thing: accountability. And Doc doesn't have any. Instead of saying, I messed up, I need to be better, he's saying, everyone betrayed me and I'm the real victim here. But let's be real. No one is buying that. Not his former friends, not his audience, not the gaming community, and certainly not the broader internet. The only people still supporting him are those willing to turn a blind eye to reality. And that says more about them than anything else. What makes it even worse is that Doc doesn't even seem to understand what accountability looks like. It's not about apologizing just to make the controversy go away. It's about genuine self-reflection, growth, and making changes to ensure it doesn't happen again. None of that has happened here. The most ironic part of this whole mess? Doc keeps throwing around the word gaslighting like it's his new favorite phrase. But guess what? The only person gaslighting here is Doc himself. He's trying to rewrite history, manipulate his audience, and twist the truth to fit his own narrative. Gaslighting is making someone question their own reality. But there's no questioning a reality here. He admitted to inappropriate messaging. The facts are the facts. Trying to spin it into something else doesn't change that. And now, after all this, Doc has been remonetized on YouTube. He's back to making money, back to streaming, back to doing what he does. And if he was smart, he'd just focus on that. But instead, he's choosing to remind the internet of his mistakes by constantly bringing them up. If he wants to rebuild, the best thing he could do is take responsibility, shut up about it, and move on. But clearly, that's not happening anytime soon. Some might say, why does this even matter? Why keep talking about it? Here's why: because this is bigger than Doc. It's about accountability in the content creation space. It's about setting a standard for what is and isn't acceptable behavior. When influencers get caught in scandals like this, the way they handle it sets a precedent. If people let Doc slide, it sends the message that this kind of behavior isn't a big deal. And that's not okay. If we want online communities to be safe, if we want creators to be held to a higher standard, then this conversation has to happen. At the end of the day, this situation isn't complicated. Doc did something wrong. He got called out. His friends distanced themselves. And instead of taking it like a man, he threw a tantrum. So if you're still defending Doc, ask yourself, what are you really defending? Because at this point, there's no reasonable justification left. That's all for today. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and I'll catch you in the next one. Stay real, stay accountable, and don't be like Doc.